Hey guys, Neverlight here. I have the solution to dark matter, dark energy, and Hubble tension. All of those things at the same time. And it's a pretty extraordinary claim. And so, in order to back up an extraordinary claim, I must provide extraordinary evidence. And I'm going to do that in 6 major parts that I'm going to frame as Gadanken experiments. Einstein, the way he actually came up with his solution to general relativity and eventually special relativity was using what he called Gadanken experiments, which means mind experiments. He just thought about it in his mind and he built and honed his internal simulator so significantly, and he had such capacity that he was able to simulate everything that he came up with first. In fact, the simulator is one of the most important parts of the human mind, and it uses multiple regions. When I talk about simulator, what I'm really talking about is your imagination. But the way we interface with this place is not exactly as you would expect. You're actually simulating this place in your head. So technically, we are all living in our own simulation. That doesn't mean that the universe is a simulation. It means your interface with the universe is a simulation. Now, why is that? Well, in order for us to predict what's going to happen in the future, our brains have so much knowledge of how this place works that it has an educated or very capable guess as to what's going to happen next. But there actually is no such thing as time. There is no such thing as the past. There is no such thing as the future. And I'll explain why this is important later in my explanation, but the first step in really getting to the foundations of gravitime theory are first eliminating time from your conception. The universe itself has no clock. The universe has no clock. We can subdivide actions and we can measure things and we can quantify data, but there is no real clock to the universe. Any clocks that we have, any clocks that we assume, or any clocks that we fabricate here are human constructs. And time is terribly, terribly important to the human experience, and so it's very hard to explain that it doesn't actually exist. It's not a quantifiable entity. It's an illusion of now. So anything that's not now doesn't exist. And I can prove this to you. There's a very simple Gadanken experiment that we're all going to do together, and I've been really looking forward to this, so I hope you'll follow along with me. You can stand up, you can sit down, but whatever you do, actually go along with me in these actions. And all I want you to do is I want you to identify the 3 physical dimensions that we live in. So stand up, point forward, okay. Now point backwards, okay. That's the first dimension, right? Forwards, backwards. Now point to your left. Now point to your right. And we've got left and right. This is the second dimension, right? Now you can point up and then point down. This is the third dimension. Now I want you to point at yesterday. Where is it? Yesterday doesn't exist. Now point at tomorrow. Where is it? Tomorrow doesn't exist. You can look at a calendar, you can look at a clock, but all that tells you is that based on our previous observations, it's very likely to be that in the distant future, but none of it is actually given, and now actually isn't even really that real. Now is also relative. This was actually the revolution and the problem that Einstein created, is that he showed by inferring how light would move in certain circumstances that everything in this universe is actually relative. So if everything is relative to everything else in this cascade of relativity, then there cannot actually even be an agreed upon now. You only have your local causality and your local continuity. This will make more sense as I explain the other Gadankenexperiments experiments that I'm going to go through. I'm trying to break this up and ease people into these ideas because it's kind of a different way of thinking about physics and the universe itself. This is really important because if we have a better foundation for the universe, that means we understand it better. And if we understand the universe better, then that means we can figure out how to make the universe a little bit better for the people that are here. I hope you'll come along with me on this journey. I hope you'll see that what I've found actually has merit, and I hope that I can prove to you without any sort of question or concern that what I have discovered is actually the truth. Now, physics is really a strange place. It's typically you have to be an academic, and unfortunately, because of my talents, I'm not able to build a good interface with education. I am an intersex woman. I was born as a super mutant freak, and I think I might even be a chimera, but I haven't actually done the genetic tests to confirm that yet. And as soon as I can find the resources to do that, I'll actually validate that claim. But I'm very different. I'm very different. My interface with this place is very different. And because of my experience, I had to self-motivate and self-soothe from my very first day on this planet. And because of that, combined with my physiological mutation, I was motivated to find the absolute limits of my talents. And the talent that I have is that I have a super powerful simulator. I would posit that I have the most powerful simulator on the planet, actually. And the only reason I know any of this, the only reason I happened into gravitime theory at all, is that I've been a physics enthusiast since I was a child. I'm fascinated by the nature of this place, and I want to know how it works. Because if I know how it works, then I can figure the rest of this place out. And this place is pretty fucking crazy. Y'all are Looney Tunes. This whole fucking place is upside down land. And if I can bring some sense to any part of this place, then maybe I can bring some more sense to other parts of this place. Who knows? But this is where I have to start. And I hope you'll give me the benefit of the doubt initially, so that I can actually bring you to my side and show you why removing time from the model is so important. You'll see later. What I'm going to do next is show you that the universe actually exists in not 3 dimensions, but 4. The reason why Einstein started to work is because he added a quasi 4th dimension, right? And so his quasi 4th dimension led us down this path of realization that everything is actually relative. But it's created all of these other problems. Like now we have, the observations in the universe are not lining up very well with that theory anymore, and that's because we look at these large galactic structures like the Milky Way, and they're not behaving the way they should according to gravitation. And so they just call it dark matter, and then the expansion of the universe, they just call that dark energy. In every other instance, in every other pursuit, in every other industry, you don't get to make observations first and then come up with a solution. But here, the observations have already been done. We just don't have a solution. We don't know why. So I'm going to show you why. And if you take the time, I promise you, by the end of this series, you'll understand Gravitime theory. You'll understand how we no longer need to worry about dark matter or dark energy, and how it also is going to resolve the Hubble tension, which I think is almost as important. Thank you so much for your time. If you like this, please follow me. I have ways you can support me if you want. I actually really hate money. I think money is a stupid concept. I think most of the concepts we have here are fucking stupid. But we have to live here together. So I have to participate if I want to live here together with the rest of you. So I could use your support if you want. But I'm not going to beg you for it. I'm not going to hype you up. I just want to fix this place. I want to make this place better. And I don't want to worry about money. I think that's enough of your time for the day. I can't wait to share the rest of this with you. I have some really big things planned. So once again, please follow, please like, please share, ask me questions if you want. This intro is a little bit vague, and there's a lot more pieces to this puzzle. So I'll see you in the next installment of Gravitime Theory, Part 2, where we're going to do another Gadankenexperiment, and I'm going to teach you how to make something from nothing.